Kyle Richards's Encino home is going to shit. Her AC is broken, her water heater is also pure shit, and her dogs are starting to become feral in the absence of these human amenities. Let's take a moment of silence now to hope that Kyle's home gets a little better soon. Thank you. My name is Riley Hamilton, and I'm joined by Amy Scarlotta, and this is Turtle Time.
I need more information. I know that house is old as hell. Like, it's like 19th century, which, like, for LA is impossible almost.
Yeah, well, I have all the information you'll ever need because I'm on BravoTV.com looking at the Daily Dish.
That's how you know it was bad.
And they wouldn't report on it unless this was like a disastrous situation at her house. It's so bad that, yeah, she's having to use the guest house because the water, I'm telling you, is frigid. There's no AC. And then she really did say she has so many dogs now and they kind of don't know what to do with themselves anymore. They're kind of roaming and they've established new alliances and they're roaming in packs, just complete chaos there. And then she did say, this is I think you'll like this. She said, it reminds me of Little House of the Prairie, which she, I think, if I remember correctly, had a guest starring role or was one of the main Prairie children, which, do you remember?
Yeah, I think guest role.
Just a guest role?
I think so.
She was like a kid who there was a well on the next door neighbor's thing and she fell down and they could hear her crying, right?
Sounds like something that would happen. That show was definitely one where I would only watch out of desperation in my youth.
Yeah, I never liked I don't think I ever even came into contact with it. It was something was it on when we were young or when I was young? I'm 40 almost.
I think it was like in replays. I think it was like 80s.
I think she was one of the kids in the well, and the Mr. Prairie head, or Mr. whatever his name was. They had to save her. You remember when you were talking about that memoir that Kyle Richards is probably cooking up? Just the Little House on the Prairie stories of being on set for the couple of days that she was on set is already chapter 2 or 3 in that.
Totally. I mean, she's got stories up the wazoo. 1974. Ran for 9 seasons.
1974 ran for, so I was born in 1985. I would have been just after Prairie ended its initial run, and then I would have been probably having reruns. But I gotta be honest with you, I never watched it for 1 second.
Yeah, she does come up when I do like cast. Also Jason Bateman comes up. All these little 50-something child stars were definitely on there.
Gosh, that is so cool. Well, if you're a Prairie head, let me know, because that is very interesting. I wonder what Kyle Richards' impact was like, but I thought it was notable, at least, that when she was pulling references for what the sort of turmoil at her house, that she said Little House on the Prairie. Kind of interesting, at least to me.
Yeah, I just remember there was like an evil girl that was like a total bitch that would like set up the main girl for failure all the time.
Oh my God, what the hell? She had a little rival. That wasn't
like
Kyle.
A bully.
That wasn't Kyle. No. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's always a bully on every show.
It's the moral imperative. Okay, well, I'm sending her prayers. Where's that, Encino?
Yeah, Encino.
Yeah. Well, that's fucked if she doesn't have air right now. It's like probably 100 there today.
I think that's why it's sort of top of mind for everyone, because they know what we're dealing with in Los Angeles. And yeah, that's why I really did want to talk about this, because because
I really did need to touch on this
because it's hot. And she said the guest house is fine. It's like, she said, don't get me wrong, we have a wonderful guest house, but it's not the same as showering in your own home or sleeping in your own home. And also there was a little bit of a like, where's Mauricio? They tried to play into that a little bit, like, where's Mauricio?
I know where he was.
Me too. I was just gonna say, let's talk about it. Yeah, we found out where Mauricio was. He could have been at home. Well, I don't know. He could have been at home suffering with Kyle if they were still in a relationship,
making soup out of cans.
Yeah, he could have been doing almost anything, but instead I found out where he was, and you did too, because just right before we started recording, the Real Housewives of Potomac trailer came out, and I don't think that I could have ever, even if I put every Bravo celebrity's name on a big note card and threw a dart with my eyes closed, would I have ever said that I thought that we'd be getting a little pop-in from Mauricio on Potomac. What did you what kind of scream or gasp or laughter? What emitted from your mouth when you saw Mauricio pop into that?
It was like that Tiffany Pollard meme where she's like, Beyonce? I was like, Mauricio? Like, I literally don't know how it's going to be justified.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know how they justified it within the trailer. So let's talk about this thing. You and I were speculating upon Potomac just 2 days ago, and you and I had no clue what was going on Potomac-wise. We said, is Karen coming back? And we got our answer quicker than you could have ever imagined. First of all, we didn't even know it had wrapped, and, that's our fault. But anyway, then we got an answer clear as a bell, I'll say. October 6th, Potomac is coming back. It's either the 5th or 6th. I'm almost positive. It's one of those. And Karen, we are having a full Karen-less season, but the trailer starts kind of one of the most, I think, iconic starts to a trailer I've ever seen. I mean, if they wanted people to start screaming, screaming and just being like delighted, this opening it with Giselle penning a letter to Karen is perfect. She says,
it should have been a quill.
I think but I think that you and I, if it went too much gilding the lily, we would have been like, oh, this was almost the perfect, like, I know the rationale for why she did this. This is obviously performative, but you could almost justify that she's writing, these letters to Karen. But she said, Dear Karen, I forget what she said. She goes, there is not a day that goes by in which I don't think of you, Karen. But I have to say, life has been moving on without you. And then that's how the trailer opens to show what's been going on without Karen.
Totally. Yeah. No, I hope, I mean, there's no precedent for prison visit, right? That's simply not allowed.
I think I think I only know prison visits from pop culture or stuff like in Goodfellas.
Jersey, they would drive there, but then it would end like when they parked.
Yeah, I always think we've seen the parking lot and then we never get in there. Like, it's not the same as like when Karen goes to see Henry Hill in Goodfellas and brings a bunch of
gabagool in her pants.
Yeah, so I don't think we ever see that. So they couldn't have done that. They're not allowed to film in there. But we've never seen filming. I guess it's only in every single movie and TV show I've ever seen that they've ever filmed somebody going. But you actually have never seen that in real life. Somebody going to do that.
I don't think so. Maybe like a documentary or something like more respectable.
Yeah, Werner Herzog, speaking of him, well, we weren't speaking of him, but he's
in the news.
Yeah, he's majorly in the news because he is friends with Francis Ford Coppola. He walked him down the red carpet, and he also opened up an Instagram account for the first time. Did you see that?
I guess that makes sense. He got like a Lifetime Achievement Award at is it Venice that everyone's at right now? Film festival?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got some like big award,
All right. Well, so just to do a brief tangent, I know what he doesn't like death row. And he did an entire documentary interviewing this guy who was like 30 days out. And I remember that. And I was like, oh, this is wild. He was talking to this guy and he was about to be sentenced to death. And so maybe in some, I think, maybe the documentary.
What's that movie called?
It's called, oh man, I don't even want to speculate because it would be so in ill taste. I think it was called the penalty of death. Let me see. Werner. Oh, did you already find it?
Oh, Into the Abyss.
Oh, yes.
But then there's also a series on death row.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're exactly right. Without even bringing up Werner Herzog, that's true. I guess if it's a documentary, you can talk to people, but probably not for
I feel
Bravo.
Like, doesn't that movie have like, I know we for some reason always bring up the act of killing, but the like warden or like the what do you call it? The person that does the killing on death row,
the executioner.
Exactly. That's just like a guy.
Yeah,
and he's like, it haunts my dreams. Like, it's like a crazy interview. He's like, I struggle.
Yeah, he goes, it sucks. he goes, that it totally sucks as a job. And also he said that they don't even, he barely, I forget, do they still wear, I think I'm thinking of Green Mile.
Like a plague mask.
I don't think the executioners, unfortunately. I
think he dresses like a sheriff. Like, it's like security guard vibes.
But he doesn't put a big burlap sack on his head.
I don't think so.
That's only, I'm sorry.
It's not funny. This shit is so dark. I cannot believe that we live this way. Anyways.
No. And I didn't mean to, that's why I was worried about going in here. I didn't mean to make light of it. This is gonna sound stupid, but I thought that I really did think that that guy in Into the Abyss did do some sort of like a cloth or something over his head, but he doesn't.
I mean, I maybe I blocked it out. I'm due for I want to do a full. I had a like Werner summer where I just watched like 6 of his documentaries in one weekend, and I want to do the same for Errol Morris because I think I'm missing like a lot. So maybe I'll do both of them for the next 6 months or something.
Let me know. Yeah, Errol Morris, Thin Blue Line. He ended up doing something great with criminal justice too. He said he found out that one guy goes, I wasn't even in the car at the time or whatever, and the one guy goes,
Yeah.
he's in prison, and he goes, yeah, he wasn't in the car, and it was like huge win because that one
Talk
guy.
about we were saying that everyone on Bravo who is being filmed ends up going to jail because their crimes are caught, but probably everyone who's in jail, if they were being filmed, they'd be free because there would be like evidence,
Some, yes, definitely,
like a percentage.
definitely some of them, and everyone talks about that one. We'll stop talking about this very
The
soon.
Larry David.
Yeah,
thing.
the Larry David thing.
Yeah.
It was like he was like, "Hey, I was at this baseball game, and it was like an episode of Curb. It's like, wow, yeah. You want to always, establish alibis every time you go out, and be filmed as much as possible, just in case."
You know who that would never happen to, or like would always happen to, would be Sheena Shea because she's had like every moment since like Snapchat documented.
It's true. You made me think of like something like came up where I remember she was like someone called into question her actions, and she was like, no, I was doing my selfie of the day every single day back then at that time, and so I couldn't have been there.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. That's awesome. I mean, we might be now living in a world of having pure alibis, just given how much content we're all creating.
Totally. Like Stassi's exonerated from an outfit of the day.
Yeah.
She's like, I was in front of my mirror at 8:30 a.m.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, this is good. I mean, talk about a silver lining here for.
It's like security, state, exoneration. It's a toss up.
Yeah, right. Well, I guess if we're doing all the, if we're participating in how much fun content we're creating, and it ends up providing an alibi, for us, that's the best case scenario. Well, anyway, why I brought up Into the Abyss for some reason was because we were talking about not being able to film Karen. So instead of filming that, having Giselle and the entire cast show up to see how Karen's doing, Bravo decided to not do that, and instead it's a Dear Karen, this is what's been going on since you've been gone. We have, I think, 2 new cast members that are introduced, and I was really excited by Tia, who is a British cast member, and they immediately established that Tia is British, I think within 5 seconds, because she says, I was completely knackered, she says. And Giselle goes, what the hell did you just say? And she goes, I'm British. That's the kind of stuff that we say all the time. And then there's a lot of humor revolving around her being completely British for I think her entire run. Or she's British in the beginning, and then they have a little bit of humor keeping going.
They're definitely going to make a meal of that. My main concern is it does appear that Stacey is still going to be cornered and bullied.
Yeah, there was I think that there's 2 accusations against Stacey in the trailer, and I kind of had my eyes on what was going on with Stacey because I was like, I'm so happy that she's back. She was my favorite cast member and a new cast member on Bravo for a very long time, and it looks like she's going to get in trouble for trying to court Chris Samuels, which I guess they're saying that she was trying to date him at one point, which is going to prompt Monique to come back into the fold. And then what was the other thing? Oh, Stacey goes, guess what? She goes, I lied to you all in New York. And then Giselle is basically rolling around happy as hell, happy as a clam, I'll say, because she says, well, I knew it. You've been lying to us all for a year. But that's probably, I think they're teasing it as if it's going to be about JT. But instead, I think it might be a smaller lie, like the cannabis company or something,
Yeah, they bring up the weed business, and then there's also there's going to be a scene with her husband, because I don't think they're divorced, like her German husband, and so they're all going to call into question the TJ stuff when she's not even technically divorced yet, but I don't know. Whatever. We'll see.
We'll see. And yeah, I don't really trust anyone's accusations against Stacey after what I saw, last year. So I'm ready for
Yeah.
her to just give her voice to everything. But they are saying that TJ might have been brought in to make that ex-husband jealous, and that now she's trying to get back with her ex, which I'm very excited to see that ex-husband.
Yeah.
Will he
I
be
know.
similar to JT, or will he be, I don't know, sort of different? It'll be nice to see Stacey in a new relationship, or
Right.
trying to date
'Cause
someone else.
they never showed him before, so the fact that he's on camera is a big move for her.
I think so too. And then the most provocative thing, we already kind of tipped our hat towards it. Someone says, Stacey goes, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Giselle doesn't have a boyfriend. And then it's kind of a significant cut there. And then all of a sudden, Mauricio starts basically jumping into the scene, a completely different day. And they're using that sort of quick editing to make it seem like, in some way, possibly Giselle is dating Mauricio,
Yeah.
which I would say the odds of that are 1%.
Yeah. I think there were a few red herrings in the trailer. Like, there's one where Wendy's like, and then I realized he didn't love me. And she's kind of like, it looks like she's about to laugh. And I'm like, well, I know that's going to be total bullshit. Like, they're trying to play it like it's like a potential divorce conversation. And like the Mauricio thing, I feel like they're like on a trip. They're probably in like where was Mauricio partying with PK? They're probably like,
he went to Greece. They went to the Hamptons. And I guess they possibly went to Potomac. I think they were doing a full tour together.
like, I bet they are on a cast trip and he was there and he like cruised by and was like, what's up, Giselle?
I think so too. He seemed very much like, I'm just so excited to be here with the cast of Potomac, and I'm not dating any one of you. And just knowing what the trailer was trying to do, I have my suspicions. But it was definitely, it's provocative. It made me excited that Mauricio, how they're going to explain why he's there. And that was it. There's a little bit more. There's Stacey versus Ashley. Ashley says, "Take your size 11 feet and stomp out of here." And then
Ashley also says that Stacey has bad breath, which we have always said is the lowest blow you could ever do.
Yeah, this is.
Why does this keep happening? Why do people keep saying this?
I don't know. This is a 2D medium. Unless it becomes 3D, even if it becomes
smell-o-vision on Bravo.
If it becomes 3D, I'll allow maybe talking about the fourth sensation of smell, but we're strictly talking about what we visually can see, and I do not want to know what anybody smells like ever. And I think that is I mean, I almost put it above talking about affair, like saying you're cheating on your husband or accusations of bloggers, like telling the world that this person has hot breath. Like when Kyle or whoever insinuated that, was it Camille? Whoever insinuated that about Lisa Vanderpump. It's something that I'll never forget. And I have to think about that with Lisa Vanderpump for the rest of my life. And I never wanted to know that. And now I can't even begin to think about that for Stacey. I want to forget that even happened. I hope they edit it out in the final edit.
Okay, I guess we'll be bringing like Listerine strips to BravoCon so no one can report that we have stank breath.
Could you imagine BravoCon 2026 and we show up and everybody's offering us breath mints and saying that last year our breath was really, really bad? I would just be offended. I'll say it.
Yeah, we're gonna just stay hydrated, eat mints, and no coffee or cigarettes, I guess.
Yeah, I think we'll be good. But again, they shouldn't have said this. That's a kind of that's for me a really low blow, and it really shows that Ashley has a hatred towards Stacey.
Shows her character.
Shows her character to call her that. Maybe she's trying to get back at Bunyan's Gate. Do you remember?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't really like hearing that at all. And then the big reveal is that Monique is coming back.
Is she like full-time or friend?
It looks like she's going to be utilized in a way in which Alexis Bellino was utilized. Like, you're part of the drama. Chris Samuels was referenced. So now let's get Monique's take.
Did they get divorced?
I think they did. I'm almost positive. I don't want to even waste time looking it up. Yes, I think they did. So I think it's kind of like if you're in if you're in the air, and they have access to you, they'll bring you back so you can talk about your side of things. But I don't really even believe that Stacey was trying to date Chris Samuels. It sounds like just some random accusation that they're trying to take Stacey down with.
Yeah. Well, it looks like she got a new bird, so I'm here for that. I loved the bird content last time.
Me too. All right. Well, that's great.
T'Challa forever.
T'Challa forever. And so you and I mean, we've got Salt Lake City. I mean, I know people have been sort of, we had our McBee era. It's coming to an end pretty soon. But now we've got two huge, hot franchises coming back to us. Salt Lake City first for a month, and then we'll have Potomac again, which I'm so excited about. So just bear with us during this sort of, people are calling it a rocky time for
slump.
a slump, but it's not the case at all, and we're coming back full force once these franchises come back. The next piece of news, and some might say
to go back to jail.
Yes. Oh, no, please. Oh, yeah. See, I was going to say, I was going to say this. I was going to say this Carl news, and I was like, oh, my God, I don't think Carl went to jail. But no, that's okay.
Yeah, you're right. You said Salt Lake, and it reminded me. But Coach Shaw visited Jen Shaw for their 31st anniversary in prison, and they took some cute, there's like a photo booth or like a photo op in jail. And there's a little, it's like at a wedding where they have those little like mustaches you can put on and stuff. And she has one that says XOXO, and he has one that says period. I'll hold it up for YouTube.
Yeah, what is
And then there's another one of she's wearing her transition lenses, and they're looking good. They're looking strong.
That looks great. I'm proud of them, for obviously staying in a relationship during this kind of rough time, and I'm sure that he believes the best of Jen Shaw.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, what was that one guy doing? Who was Jen Shaw's assistant? They were trying to pin it all on
that guy.
She was like, what was it? I forget what his name was. It was like Walter. It was like yeah, I don't know what the hell Walter was doing. And it was so clear that he was just doing all of Jen Shaw's bidding. But anyway, this is a beautiful, wonderful photo. I wonder if he got to talk to Elizabeth Holmes while he was there, or who was
or
Ghislaine. or Ghislaine. But anyway, yes, these photos are really I'll just say it. These are really nice, wonderful photos, and I'm glad that 31 years. I mean, what a testament to marriage.
Blessings to them. But yeah, I've just been thinking about with the Grand Dame getting out next week or whenever it is, and Jen Shaw being there, and like thinking about like Martha Stewart in the clink. I'm like, it's so crazy that like when they hit the gavel and they're like, you are going to jail, it's for real, like how unfathomable that is, and how you're just like, literally no, like I cannot do that, and that you watch them and they just like get used to it and like get through it. It's kind of amazing.
I know. How long was Martha gone? A year?
Was it that long?
Oh, maybe even less.
I don't remember. I watched that documentary, but I already forgot.
Yeah, I forget too. But yeah, you make the most of it. Yeah, I always say to myself, I don't want to go to jail, and so
No.
I hope that I don't do anything criminal, and I'm worried.
I think we can make it through. I was doing bench presses at the gym yesterday, and I was like, this is so jail coded. I was like, felt like total Cape Fear vibes.
I know. Yeah, I don't want to descend into sort of the Max Cady, because there's a bunch of different avenues you can take when you go to prison. Obviously, we all know beat up the biggest person in prison, and there's also be on your best behavior. But then the last one, I do not want to devolve into this, is to start doing stick 'em, what are they called? Stick and poke tattoos, and start getting really buff and put a bunch of like Bible verses all over my body.
Yeah, I get like the scales of justice like across my chest.
Yeah, I'm really, if anybody, I'm really hoping, I'm hoping for the rest of my life I do not commit any crimes that are worthy of going to jail.
Totally. I think we can make it through. I do think it'd be cool to like learn the law to like a crazy degree while you're in there. Like, I know a lot of people like in that movie Sing Sing, like he's trying to get his parole, so he's doing hella research, and I know a lot of people are like doing that there, like trying to figure out their best path forward or whatever, and I'm like, I would love to come out of that time as an expert.
Me too. Whether it be law or I would if they have access to Shakespearean plays, I would love to.
Oh my God, yeah. You learn the bard's language.
I would love to be the sort of Shakespeare guy in prison. I think it's just, speaking of prison, culture or whatever. My only references are from films or whatever. But I'm pretty sure Andy Dufresne from Shawshank, he went in knowing a little bit of law, but he really maximized his time in there. I think
I'm due for a rewatch.
Oh my god! If you want to talk, if you want to get our minds to trying to never go to prison, watching Shawshank is a huge eye opener because once you see that, you'll be like, you probably won't be able to escape like Andy Dufresne does,
Yeah.
but it'll really make you cautious and not want to go to jail for the most part.
Totally. I heard on TikTok, which, means nothing, that Kim Kardashian may have taken the bar in July. And so we'll know they announce it in November, I think, is when we would know if she had passed the California bar, which is very hard. So if she did pass, then she could be our lawyer. If we were going to go to jail.
Well, yes. Everything about this plan makes sense to me. And I want, this is true. If Amy and I, for some odd reason, end up going to
Fraud.
jail or prison, fraud or some criminal activity, please, Little Turtle Cuties, Villa Rosa VIPs, if Kim Kardashian does, beat the bar or gets the bar done, please advocate for us to take on this case, because that would be one of the not the trial of the century, probably like the trial of the year. That would be so cool. And just say, I've been watching them for a really long time. I know they committed this heinous crime, but overall, I don't think that they'll ever do anything like that again.
Yeah,
so please,
she could
Kim.
be our character witness. By the way, I'll say this very quickly. I listened to the Bravo docket about the next gen stuff, and I feel like all I'll report is that I'm going to leave this podcast and immediately read that New York Magazine article because it sounds amazing and insane.
Like what those crypto heads were doing in that
they sound like they're just literally insane, drug addled, they were making crack in a air fryer, and there are Polaroids of that guy they had tied up of them holding a chainsaw up to him, and there was they would have hot young girls come and poke him with a cattle prod. The details are nuts.
And they had his boxers on his head, and they were spinning him around in circles in a chair in front of the computer, I think, too. Right?
And I think Charlie, he wasn't directly doing that stuff, but they were saying that he would go find young girls to bring over to hang out, and he sort of just benefited from the party atmosphere.
So Charlie did pop his head in and saw that. Whoa.
Yeah, it sounds like from some of the testimony or whatever, the interviews, that people were a little confused about if the guy was actually being held against his will, because he came in and out a lot.
Yeah.
But it might have been some Stockholm syndrome or
I fortunately, because I don't know of what the mentality is of this entire crypto-oriented culture is, I thought that once I learned a few more facts, you learned a lot more than me, I was almost worried that it was some almost fraternity hazing aspect to this, where it's give me your Coinbase password, dude, and if you don't, I'm gonna pour salsa in your up your nose or whatever. I didn't know where the hostage taking side of things versus him being a willful participant. That's why I also want to read the New York Times or New York Magazine article and everything. So I know what's going on. But man, if I was Charlie and I was popping my head and grabbing women to come poke this guy with a stick or whatever, I'd also be hoping that Kim Kardashian passes the bar pretty soon.
Seriously. Yeah. And then the Omar crimes were more just he lied about his standing in, he lied about his past successes of to get people to invest with him.
Sort of like Steve McBee. I got to say, another book, if you were interested in crypto culture, that Going Infinite book, when you read that, you'll realize why all of this stuff happens. I've already said it. It's because it's all just completely fake in every way.
Total bullshit.
Everything about it is fake. So you can get away with lying about any aspect because you can justify anything in that world.
Unregulated. It's just fucking Wild West. Did you watch that movie, Mountainhead?
I was the prime audience for it because I love Succession more than almost anyone, top 5%. But I did not, whatever Jesse Armstrong was trying to do with that one, I was repulsed by that movie.
But you watched it.
I watched the first 30 minutes of it, and I couldn't.
Because I'll say it turns into a bit of a similar scenario.
Okay. Yeah, I felt like it was going towards that. I just like his humor or whatever, his like writing
Yeah.
on that arena. I was just like, this is awful. Like,
Yeah,
was
it
there
sucked.
someone secret behind Jesse Armstrong that was actually helping write Succession? Because
Well, because he wrote it in like a week.
oh,
Like he pitched it, wrote it, and filmed it in like 2 months.
he should have spent a little bit more time writing that one. That was hubris. That's like a classic.
Yeah.
That's a all
It
right.
was like Succession stripped of all the good stuff.
Yeah, I didn't like the cat. I was like, what the hell kind of character is Steve Carell? And it's like, this sucks. Oh my God, it sucks so bad. Can't even think about it. I was going to say, is passing the bar. We got it in the news pretty soon. But remember in Catch Me If You Can when he goes, tell me how you pass the bar. I won't do Tom Hanks's accent, Carl Hanratty, but he goes, tell me how you pass the bar. And he goes, I did do it. I just learned it and studied. And it was like, do you think you could pass the bar? I think it's just memorizing a bunch of stuff.
Oh my God. The pass rate is like 20, I think it's like 12% or something.
Yeah, but don't you just read like 4 books and then just put those answers in
I think the test itself is like 8 hours.
Okay. All right.
Like
well,
it's all day.
All right. Turtle Time listeners, have you passed the bar and was it easy? Let us know. Could anybody pass it or is it really hard?
If you've passed, comment. I want to congratulate you. I saw a video. I get on like legal TikTok sometimes, and a girl said that a fun law school activity is to watch movies and log every like criminality or like if you're like that's a HR violation that could be treated as such, like it's like a fun way to be like, that's wrong, that's bad, that's a workplace violation, that's like, and I was like, that's kind of a fun thing to be like, a way to like, it's probably annoying to watch a movie with someone that's doing that. But
if they're doing it in a room, but no, I do like that. It's kind of, I want to start doing that too. I can imagine being a lawyer in training and being like, I was imagining watching, I don't know why, but like Willy Wonka or something. And you'd be like,
oh, that was on the list.
Yeah. And you'd be like, well,
it was this is all bad.
Yeah.
Like he needs to get shut down immediately.
Yeah. Like, or even Grandpa Joe. It's like he drank fizzy lifting drink and he drank too much and he started going to the ceiling.
Elder abuse. Yeah. They're all like in that same bed.
Well, yeah. Oh my God. Well, okay. Well, that's wonderful. And that's a new way to think about movies that I definitely will start racking up, what's illegal in every movie I watch. Last thing is easy news to cover. This isn't even news.
Yeah.
It's a congratulations from Turtle Time to Carl Radke. I was looking at my Instagram and a People magazine exclusive came up on my feed and it had Carl Radke showing off Soft Bar for like the soft launch. It's so close to being open and they had a summer house scene or an entire filming session at Soft Bar for the soft launch for the entire summer house cast. Probably not Lindsay, I guess.
Probably not.
Maybe Lindsay. But anyways, and then Carl and this People exclusive showed off Soft Bar, and I thought it looked beautiful.
Yeah, I am proud of him. He got it done. It's August, like he said. He did it.
Yeah, did he say August?
I think so.
Oh my God. Yeah. And what day? Yeah. This was Thursday, the 27th or something. So he definitely made it into August. So good. Congrats to Carl. And did you take a peek at that kind of stuff that was in there?
Like the drinks?
Yeah. There was this one guy who put they were doing, he said it's going to be these practical drinks or whatever. And then there was also a flex zone, I think, where you can like workshop ideas and talk while you're also drinking coffee or drinking his drinks. And I thought that the space looked like aesthetically cool. Like for any Bravo celebrity thing we've seen, 95% of them are pure shit. So this was kind of like, I liked that. I think Carl relied on people or it was probably his taste too, but like, it looks like the investors and the people he's working with actually care about this a lot. And it's not just like a Bravo celebrity whim.
Right.
Because I liked everything about it. I thought it looked cool. And I won a third, he said it's called a third space. And I think that there's some merit to places like that.
He did the 3 like European style, like in Glorious Bastards. He was like third space with his pinky, his
if he would have done
ring finger and his middle finger.
Wow, if he would have done it like this with his thumb, we would have been like, wow, is Carl secretly German, right?
Yeah. Or didn't, because Michael Fassbender does it like the classic American way.
Yeah,
Where you
I just watched it 3 days ago, and unfortunately,
you did?
yeah, Michael Fassbender blows it majorly. He
Yeah.
goes like this, and someone was telling me in the room when I was watching it that it's actually easier to hold up. I think it's easier to hold up the thumb and the two fingers and trying to get that was that ring up. Look, I can
Yeah.
barely get my ring up. Can
It's
you?
like doing the peace sign.
Yeah. So and then the three European three, like you called it, is actually the easiest.
I was partying with Germans when I was in, where was I? Belfast. And I was like, we were with them like all night. And I was like, how do you put up the number 3? And they did it. And they were like, inglorious bastards.
And was it?
They did it like
really?
you would think, yeah.
Man, even though it's so hard for me to pull up my ring finger, if you said, Riley, how many people, how many friends do you have? I'd be like 3, and I would try to do the American or British version of 3, despite how easy the other ones are.
Yeah, I would do like RHOC, and then I would hold up my other hand too.
Oh, that's pretty awesome way to do 3.
A RHOC and a number 1.
Let's make the turtle time way of showing off 3 is you guys gotta go on YouTube because unfortunately we're doing a lot of hand signals. Rocker, we're doing turtle time 3 is a rocker sign because we're kind of like rock stars, Amy and I. Rockers and then a 1 extra and then that equals 3. So let us know. This is kind of a good fodder for conversation on YouTube or Spotify or Villaros of VIPs.
How do you 3?
How do you 3? I'm sure a lot of people will say the classic 3 with the ring finger, but you got to admit, getting that ring finger up, I mean, it's a little hard. Well, great. So, all that
you could do 2 in the pink and 1 in the stick.
Yeah. Yeah. There's another symbol. I'll put it on YouTube. All right.
Congrats, Carl.
But you know what I also loved about this Carl thing? People don't like, or some people don't like, obviously celebration for Carl. God knows why. I don't know. God knows why, but whatever. Carl, this is a huge win for him. Categorically a huge win. You opened up a space in Brooklyn or Greenpoint, wherever the hell. It actually looks cool. And actually the concept of a no alcohol space or whatever is enticing for, I'm sure, a lot of people. So huge congrats. And the Summer House cast I saw flooded him with the love that I felt when I saw it too. It was just like, Wes was like, this is, I don't know, I forget what everybody said, but it was just like, congrats.
Wes commented, I'm not soft.
Oh yeah, I didn't know what that meant, but that I assumed congratulatory. And then Kyle said, hell yeah. Everyone was just like, and I feel that same way. I'm like, I'm
Danielle
proud of him.
was there.
That's so cool. So good. And it sounds like, I mean, for me, for Summer House, getting to watch that and witness Soft Bar's launch is going to be cool and very enticing towards the end of the season for us to see that.
God. It's crazy that it's like already so late in the year that like it won't even be that far.
I know. We haven't heard a little peep about Summer House besides this. Have you heard one even little tiny peep about anything to do with this summer and what's been going on?
Not too much, like stray Instagram stuff here and there, but I'm like, I think it's going to be good.
Oh, of course. I like when it's just like a vault and we have no clue what's going on. And then you watch the trailer and you're like, holy shit, all this stuff happened. All right. Well, okay. Well, you and I decided to go for 40 minutes on news. But I think that we should, get into this Orange County episode that we are here to recap. It was called Truth Tellers and Lie Detectors. How do you feel about moving forward onto this?
Yeah, I had fun watching this. I feel like between this and both Miamis, I was like, all right, like, this is some fun.
Yeah, I said that to myself, too. I said, I'm having fun watching this. I knew I was having fun in OC the minute I saw Shannon sitting down with Gene the Machine and having his 96th birthday at just like a wonderful restaurant. I don't even know where it was, but I was just like, this is already starting off so fun for me. He's 96.
Amazing. And he's still with it. He's still hitting on girls. They show a clip of him hitting on Kelly Dodd. At one point, she brings him out a Marilyn Monroe, like what do you call that? Like a telegram, like a singing telegram?
Yeah, I was calling it a singing telegram, or I was also calling it like hiring a well, no, yeah, she did sing. Like, yeah, I guess Shannon decided because he probably 96 years old, she minus our current time. Like Marilyn Monroe was probably very enticing around that time. So it was kind of like probably a dream of his to have that JFK. Is it true that Marilyn, I was going to look this up. Marilyn Monroe sang happy birthday to Mr. president, right? And that's when
Yes.
the rumors started going like, oh my gosh, this looks very intimate.
Yes.
So Gene the Machine got to have that experience, and he was blushing. I mean, it was like Marilyn Monroe was there in the room, and she kisses him on the cheek, and she sings "Happy Birthday," I think, Gene the Machine.
Yes. He loved it. He was like, I don't know where she came from, but I like her.
It was so sweet. I have to say, I'm gonna start to cry, but he looks amazing for 96.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell me he was 84, and I'd say, my God, that's
Yeah.
great.
Especially for a
96.
man. Like, both my grandmas lived to like 97, 98, but for men, like, they never last that long.
I know. It's like we were walking around with a noose over our heads every day of our lives. When we're going to die early, 10 years earlier than our significant others. So Gene the Machine is really pushing the daisies back.
Yeah.
Is it what?
Well, he's single. That's why.
Of course. No, of course. But I was just, well, so it just made me think a lot of things. First of all, that is the most, him sitting having a spicy margarita and guacamole at that Mexican restaurant with his daughter at 96 years old. I was like, this is the dream. If I passed away peacefully right after that, like it is a life well lived. And I didn't even think that the guy who came up gave him enough credit for being 96. No. If I saw a 96-year-old sitting at dinner, standing forward up like that, I would be like, this is the celebration of the century. I'm going to get you a cake with a candle on it.
He was just like, oh, happy birthday. I was like, no.
He was too young. He's too young to know what 90.
Get it.
He doesn't get what 96 is. That's like that. Oh my God. I could not believe it. So I'm so proud of Gene the Machine. I mean, say what you will, that he's still chasing after, but whatever. I thought that this was a very sweet, wonderful scene and a celebration of being 96 years old.
Yeah, I wanted that Gene the Machine hat. I know you loved Where We Went Next.
This was when it was starting to get like, I go, what the hell is happening on the OC? Because all of my favorite things are happening. Marilyn Monroe impersonator, spicy margaritas, 96-year-old man, and then Mozambique again. We never get Mozambique this many times.
When I saw it, I was like, Mozambique.
We just saw Mozambique, I think, 3 episodes ago. And they go back again because Gretchen and Gina want to have a little talk with Kiki Monique about
jealous that Kiki got to go to Mozambique.
I know. It was, I mean, one of the most iconic OC locales. I mean, obviously it would have been a different story if she went to Quiet Woman. We'd be like screaming from the rooftops, but Mozambique is a huge heavy hitter, top 3 or 4. The Deck, Mozambique, that. But it was great. And then they want to get to the bottom of, obviously this thing about, what is it? Katie sitting down with Kiki and whispering in her ear, guess what I heard at Mastro's from Gretchen, that drugged and hospitalized, that whole rumor.
Yes. Yeah, Gretchen's like, I thought I was in a safe space at that dinner, like not okay to turn around and squeal to a journalist. This is when we get Kiki joining. This was kind of awkward because Gretchen is like, hi, nice to meet you. And she's like, well, we've met, sort of. And she's like, what? And she's like, it was just on the phone on Shenanigans, Sheena's podcast. And she was like, oh, I didn't know that was you.
Yeah, I thought that was, I didn't know, I sensed the awkwardness, but I didn't know who that fell on. I just felt like it was like Kiki brought up a random thing, and then Gretchen was like, I had no clue who that was.
I'm like, what episode was that? Like, what were they doing?
Yeah, I have no clue. That would require a lot of research, and I have no idea.
Yeah, God forbid I pulled that up. I didn't even consider that for a second.
Yeah, and then I think Kiki says, guess what? It's true. All of it. I found out at this lunch, Katie said, where the hell? Katie said to me, guess what I heard at Maestro's? This thing about drugging, hospitalization, and another thing. Katie also said stuff about you, Gina. And Gina goes, oh my God. And it's about Gina calling out Katie, asking if she wears Asian designers, And then they kind of show this moment. So it was kind of like, not only will Kiki get the final word on Katie definitively saying that to her, but then she also said she was talking about a lot of people at this lunch.
Yeah. Yeah, and that storyline, it seems like was nipped from last season because they had a corroborating clip of Katie telling Tamra, I forget where they were like bike riding, where she was like, oh my God, like Gina just said X, Y, and Z to me. So the show was like, we're not doing all that. We can't deal with that. And so they moved on, but it got brought up again by Miss Kiki. So that comes up again later. Gina has to grapple with that at the end of the episode. And she says here that I'm kind of like confused about it. I'm like, I need like a head to head about it because I'm like, it sounds offensive. Like, I don't understand why she would take it upon herself to like make that her issue. Like, Gina's like, it's performative. Like, you're being performative. And I'm like, why is that something that like irks you?
I
You know?
agree. I think it was just it was like a response that she was already offended by all the shit that Katie was doing, so she wanted to call her out for that. But yeah, not something you want to call someone out for sure. And Katie has every right to be offended by that. Whether or not, though, the question of why we're revealing these things to people who have Sirius XM shows and
Right.
are journalists or whatever, I there's really no defense of Katie telling this all to Kiki. There's just I really don't care how it's spun to me in a million different ways. Katie should not have told anything about the proceedings of filming or whatever turmoil within her castmates, or this secondhand information she learned from Gretchen that she probably misunderstood, telling that to Kiki. And I don't care how Matt and Katie are trying to get around it. I am still stuck on that point forever.
Sure.
That's the point that everybody's mad about.
Yeah, I still think that Gretchen is not being totally forthright about the miscommunication. Like, although, I mean, we'll get to the lie detector we'll talk about because we can go point by point.
I believe the lie detector 100%.
You completely rely on that.
I mean, yes. I mean, every lie detector I've ever seen.
It confirmed everything that you already believed.
We'll go through it. But yes, every single inclination that I had towards who was telling the truth or who was lying was validated by that lie detector. I don't know if we've ever talked about that it was a horrible documentary about the guy who unfortunately happened to make his entire family. He did a horrible thing to his entire family, but he
made them not living.
he not funny. He did a horrible one of the worst things ever. It's it was awful. It's one of the most disturbing documentaries I've ever seen in my life. But I've told you about this. He goes to the lie detector and they go, we don't even need to tell you how badly you did on this. You blew this thing up, basically. It blew up in our hands. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I know I was lying my ass off the entire time. Like, he was just so fucking busted by the lie detector that I kind of have more faith in them than I ever did after watching.
We should do it.
I would love to, but just let's can we look at the questions we're going to ask each other first?
No.
Okay.
The element of surprise is the whole thing.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right. This lie detector? Oh, okay. No, well, I'll save all of my lie detector thoughts except that one for when we actually talk about it. But okay, well, I have to ask you. This is not me being a little stinker. Is it journalistically reputable and I'm fine with Kiki being a participant in this universe, and I think that this has now become a huge hot topic and has warranted the discussion around it because of the Gretchen angle and stuff. But I was kind of conflicted on whether or not it is Kiki's, because she wants to clear her name, I understand, but also like the Asian designer thing, like, is it right for Kiki to have said, hey, I'll confirm everything you want? This is all of the things that Kiki said to me. I was imagining you and I at BravoCon, and Shep comes up to us and he goes, hey guys, he goes, I love Austin, but he did this horrible thing. He was a piece of shit and he did this thing behind the scenes. He was completely awful, and this specific thing happened. And you and I, we'd be like, oh my God. But would we, first of all, reveal it ever in our lives on Turtle Time? And second, would we ever, if it started to get brought up, would we throw Shep under the bus and say, this was told to me, he whispered this in my ears, and he said this thing to me? We were never in the place that
well, did he say off the record?
Oh my God, I don't know. I just really, I think that Kiki is in the right because it got to that place where she felt like her journalistic integrity was on the line in a way, but I was also just like, I don't know, especially.
But like, it wasn't because the whole thing was under the guise that it was never reported. So like, she didn't do anything with it.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. We're talking about unsubstantiated rumors anyway. So I guess I don't even really have a take on it, but I was just wondering when they were like, Gina was like, "You are the most reputable person in the world. This is how journalism is done." I
Yeah.
was just like, I don't know necessarily if you got Maggie Haberman at the table, she'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, he whispered that to me," and then guess what else he said? It's like, I don't. Are we really in the journalism
Yeah, if you're
game here?
under uh you didn't see Superman, did you?
Not yet. Not no.
It's I'll say this because it happens in the first 20 minutes. It's like not a spoiler, but as you may know, Superman is dating Lois Lane,
Oh,
who's
yeah.
a reporter.
Oh my God. Oh yeah.
And he gives her an exclusive, but like they're obviously intimate. And so he keeps like opening up to her and he's like, that's off the record. And she's like, you have to say off the record first because
Even
otherwise it doesn't count.
even in that relationship?
Well, they were really fudging the line of like she wasn't having journalistic integrity by skewing the report because she loves him, you know.
That's
But
Lois
she
Lane
was
for you.
she could only get the exclusive because of that.
Damn, can we just say off the record, you and I together once when we're like hanging out, and then nothing we've ever said in private can be said, or you have to say it every single time we're gonna say something.
Every piece of information.
Oh my God, this off the record shit. No wonder Woodward and Bernstein have such a that reputation of being good
That's how you have
journalists.
to, watch who you're talking to because someone could be a reporter. It's like when you talk to a writer, they might like use your story for fodder, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. Well, let us know. I mean, is this the pillar of journalism, and was this reputable, or is this sort of a way to bring the conflict to the forefront again by having a firsthand witness there, and it doesn't really matter the journalistic ethics of it? I guess that's the question that I have.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I was a little underwhelmed by this like bombshell appearance by
Me too.
Kiki.
Well, yeah, me too. But also because I just know for a fact now, I have enough facts now to know that Katie did tell Kiki this
Yeah.
information. There's no other reason why this is starting to circulate in the air. And then by the time we get to the lie detector, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Okay, what about
Let's head
this?
that way.
Oh, oh, right. We only have. Oh, yeah, you're right. I do want to just say what the hell was going on with that Heather poker scene. What the hell was going on?
She needs to like watch out because like she really is like gonna get guillotined the way she talks about her lifestyle. Like she's like, we rented the whole another floor in this penthouse. Like we have the penthouse just to have sex in, but then we did the whole other floor below us for when the kids randomly visit. And I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, she was like, we have our bedroom that we sleep in, but then also you can go in a door and there's another bedroom that's just as big that we just have sex in. I was like, I don't, and also she makes every scene about the size of her home. Like you're
Yeah.
like everything is about the wealth and everything. And then this scene, I really didn't understand why it was included. It was a complete time filler thing of them not knowing the
Total
rules.
secrets revealed.
They didn't know the rules of poker, and also, like Heather acknowledges, you could see every single card as you picked it up because it was a glass table. I don't think anything notable or interesting was at all said for 1 second in
No,
that scene.
except that the kids are like get to vote where their home will be. And I'm like, okay, like I don't care.
Yeah, yeah, and then so you said like Heather needs to watch herself with this kind of stuff, but I think as we get to the lie detector thing, also Heather made a huge mistake coming up. Okay, Emily is having Persian New Year at her house. She went, I would say, everything about everything was there. Food,
Yeah.
and then a bunch of goldfish in a bowl. Unfortunately, about
Yeah.
6 of them had died and were dead in
That
that.
can't be good for the ceremony of it all.
I don't think that I would have reacted very well to, like, if I ever took a peek in that bowl and I just saw that 6 of them were dead at the bottom, belly up.
Yeah. Isn't there a thing with Nowruz where you like jump over fire? I kind of wish they did that.
They said that. Yeah,
Oh, they
when
did.
Emily
Okay.
was asking, she was like, I hope I can jump on or jump over fire. And then they also said, let's crack a bunch of eggs outside because then no spirits can come in because there's
Yeah.
a bunch of cracked eggs around the house.
It did make me miss Shaws of Sunset, which I think we're it's for sure happening, that Valley edition. So we'll have Nowruz and more.
How many, when I have to ultimately binge that, how many seasons are there?
It was on a long time. Like, I feel like it was on for like 10 years. I swear.
All right, well.
9 seasons.
All right. Well, I'll start now.
You'll probably hate it.
No. 9 seasons. No, that's a testament to quality. I for sure will be happy. Okay. They all get there. I'll just save you all the people coming in. They all go, Emily, someone egged your house. She goes, no, I cracked a bunch of eggs outside. What the hell are you talking about? And then they find out that Tamara has been pissed at all of them. She's been steamed. She's sitting there stewing pissed. She goes, I wish that you all would have checked on me. And we know that like half of them did. And Gina was like, what the hell are you talking about? You freaked out and left my trip screaming. Why would I ever check in on you? But that's not going to stop Tamara from ultimately coming to Persian New Year, even though she wasn't invited.
Yes, she shows up anyways. She tries to have a little iconic moment where she's like, you thought you could get rid of me that easily? And we're like, you were never gone, so like you don't get an entrance.
Yeah, and I think she also says the devil is back because she's wearing red. I was like, oh my God, how'd you get through those cracked eggs?
Yes.
And then, and then one thing, we got to talk about this. So Emily says, hey, remember when we were chatting about the lie detector stuff? Well, I have commissioned 2 lie detector experts to sit in my room in a new area of my room or outside, or I don't know where it was. And she goes, they're not going to know, but I'm going to surprise them all. So let's just write anonymous questions to each other that you want answered by a certain cast member. And then they don't know what they're doing at that point. But then it is revealed that the lie detector experts are there waiting in the wings.
Yeah, and she doesn't let anybody drink. She's like, the alcohol's not here yet, but it's really because that would affect the results. So they weren't allowed to drink.
Wow, so you can, liars, you got a little peek into how you can skew a lie detector test, get drunk as hell before it.
True, it'll chill you out. You can totally lie. Basically Emily's like apologizes to Tamara. She's like, my son has all this crazy shit going on. I'm too busy. I can't deal. And Tamara's like, yikes, whatever, like, say no more. It's fine. And then Gina comes over and she makes up with her quickly too. And Shannon's in the corner. She's like, what the hell? We're all just going to let her back in. And I'm like, it happens every time.
Yeah, and Emily and Gina are the most deferential to Tamara because there is just this, there's just this power to Tamara. And Gina and Emily are still, they've been on for 5 or 6 years, but there's still some like homage that they have to pay to the OGs, and so they're just deferential and they're kind of shocked by that. And then Katie is starting to like get a little bit of like those nervous sort of, we've talked about this, like Robert Durst-esque burps and she goes, I'm really nauseous right now. I think maybe she heard the lie detector expert cough in the background or something. Or maybe they were just catching wind with the questions game. But she goes, I need to go take a huge barf. And so she runs into the toilet and you hear an audible bunch of stuff splash into the toilet. Right?
Yeah, she's like very upset. And I'm like, this is kind of crazy that she's like this freaked out.
I've said it countless times. I think Katie is a fine, good person, but she made a bunch of very bad decisions by talking to 100 bloggers because she felt like she was not getting the proper edit or justice, or she wanted to, I don't know what she was doing, or she was telling little lies and she kept getting busted. So I just feel like this entire cavalcade of lies has just started to come down on her and she can't get away with it anymore. But I feel like they were all just like miscalculations. I do not think that she is like, who's the epitome of just a pure liar? I don't think that she's a pathological liar.
Jax.
I don't think that she is in that category. I just think that she made some horrible mistakes. She didn't know that you don't whisper in Kiki's ear at lunch about this kind of shit. And now it's all coming upon her now in this moment, and she really feels the weight of it, even though she doesn't even know the lie detector people are there.
Yeah. Her defenders online say that everyone does shit like this, but they're coming after her specifically, which, like, this is part of the larger conversation we've been having about not wanting the bloggers included. There's always been some form of that conversation. Like, we always talk about Page Six in New York, Radar Online on Beverly Hills. Like, the leaks are always, that's not new, but it's the way that it's being integrated now
Yeah.
is like too integrated.
Yeah, it was so much better when it was like Sonia, it was drunk, at the Regency, and it was a Page Six article, and then Luann would print that out and be like, "You were so drunk that Page Six posted this photo of you." That kind of like light stuff is better, but they really did this blogger, like they basically gave a big race flag for they made a big green flag and waved it in the air for all bloggers to try their best to get into this world, because they gave Kiki the spotlight to come on and justify herself. Like, now all these Bravo, I don't even know the names, and I don't want to call out anybody, but all these accounts are now justified in trying to DM everybody and get exclusives and try to do it, because it's like the holy grail is that you'll be asked, like Up and Adam was on Salt Lake City. It's like you just honored this entire culture of bloggers being a part of it, which is not good. I mean,
Right.
it's you're cruising for a very bad ending with all of this frenzy to try to get a part of the narrative. And then they are writing the questions, and people, the way they do this, at first I was frustrated because they're just asking the questions, but then it's one of the best like reveals for how they do it. So they're all, this is when they're sitting down, right? And they're asking the questions, and it's like, they're good questions that they wrote. Heather's first one is, would you rather be a housewife on Beverly Hills? And I was like, oh my God, I want the answer to that so bad, but we have to wait a little bit before we get that.
Yeah. Do you talk badly about Heather Dubrow in front of your children for Emily? Were you really told you were on the spectrum for Tamra? And then, of course, did you call the paparazzi to Disneyland? So there's a lot of like juicy questions. I wonder if the producers were like, please make sure to include these like 5 bullet points, because these are very important.
I think so. I think some were passion projects, questions that they actually wanted to ask, but I'm sure there was like 3 or 4 that they were whispering in their ear being like, you got to ask this. We need the answer to this one. And I want to say about the entire lie detector thing, this has to be a one and done scenario. I loved every aspect of it. I actually think it was perfect because, as we'll talk about it, the end result was amazing. But you cannot have other franchises have access to lie detector experts ever again. It'll become a trope, and you also don't want the answer and mystery of every lie to be solved in the moment. Like, I feel like this was perfect and great, but you can't ever do it again. It's not... I don't think that anybody should be able to replicate this moment all the time when they want to have lie detectors for all of their friends on different franchises.
Totally. Shannon says, she's like, this is actually scary for me because I actively have nightmares about lie detectors.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's a kind of a Freudian one where you'd be like, what does that truly mean? Like the high school test. That means nervousness, or that means anxiety. Teeth means lack of control, and then what the hell does this one mean? But she says, this is my worst nightmare, and they give it a scary edit. And she goes, there's one guy it's kind of like good cop, bad cop, if that's still a concept that people refer to, because the one guy is not fun in any way. He goes, I'm not fun. He goes, I'm not fun at all. Sit here. This is very serious work or whatever. And Shannon even says, you're very serious. And he goes, thank you.
Yeah, she's like, I'm having a tough time here, Gene, or whatever. Not her dad's name, but whatever it was. She says his name, and I laughed. Okay, so basically, they do their thing. Katie's very nervous during hers. They're in 2 separate rooms so that they can all get it done quickly, like however many, it's like 5 and 5.
Yeah.
And so then they sit down after, and the female interrogator reads through the answers for them all.
Yeah.
And
one thing, the lie detector person, after Katie is doing her thing, they give it she gets the full 2-minute edit of her session, and she's like, I feel sick. I'm gonna barf. What happens for the lie detector if I barf on it? And she goes, the lie detector person says, there's no anxiety that affects this, which I thought that was great to know. If you and I are ever really, really anxious during the lie detector test, that's not going to affect our things. But Katie's like, I'm burping, I'm gonna barf. And then at the end of it, the lie detector person, once she gets unstrapped from it, the lie detector person goes, she's so full of shit.
She said that?
Yes! They don't even, it's like she mumbles it under her mouth. She goes, she's so full of shit. And I was almost like, I'm glad they kept it.
Oh my God.
I'm glad they kept it in, but it made me slightly skeptical of the lie detector person who kind of dropped the expert persona to like comment on the proceedings.
Yeah, that's like unprofessional.
Yeah, it was a little unprofessional, but I was like, I gasped at it. I was like, she's so full of shit. Because I think Katie was blowing it in there. I think they edited it to make it look okay, but it was not. I think that she was looking at that chart and it was like rough as hell for Katie. Okay, yep. Now they're back, and the lie detector expert is reading the answers, and every single one, Katie doesn't believe the results because they're contrary to a narrative that she has said, which is like that Emily talks shit about Heather to her kids and all this other stuff. Katie is like disputing the lie detector results instantly before she even gets to her results.
Right. Yeah. Emily passed talking about, like not talking about Heather in front of her kids. Gina passed regarding only being with Heather, friends with Heather for real estate connections, which apparently Heather asked. She was like, I did want to know, but I wouldn't have believed it anyway.
Yeah. But I'll just say, if we're keeping a tally, I think these are all, what I imagine to be the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. Tamra failed regarding autism.
Yep. And then they show a clip of the person, her therapist or I forget, psychologist saying, I told you this, and that we needed to do more of a diagnosis. And Tamra just ran with it, saying I was officially diagnosed with autism.
I'm like, it was on camera. Like,
yeah. And then Tamara disputes that in real time. She goes, how could that be wrong? That was true. That was told to me. Like she tries to dispute it.
Right. Jen failed significantly about being worried to marry Ryan.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, because they're like, do you have concerns about marrying Ryan? And she was like, no. And then after she failed, she was like, well, I have a lot of worries because my first marriage flopped and et cetera, et cetera. So she's like, I'm not surprised, actually. That was kind of like an innocent one where it's like, whatever.
I thought that was sweet. It's like, yeah, you're worried as hell about marrying Ryan because there's so much bad stuff has already happened to you. Oh, and then Heather, this one, I was like, Heather, you're done over here.
Well, at least she admitted it.
I know. Yeah, because she had to, because she trusts the lie detector. Heather got asked about the Housewife of Beverly Hills, and she goes, I said yes. And she goes, I knew you were all going to be pissed, but it's closer to me. And everyone is like, stop talking about it. Stop talking about it because you're making it worse, because Heather is trying to do instant damage control. But I really think, like, I would be so offended if I was one of the other castmates and I knew that about Heather, because you've already thought that about her, but she just admitted and didn't want to get busted by the lie detector that that's actually how she feels, that she wants to be on Beverly Hills.
No one has ever swapped before.
I was thinking someone from Beverly Hills went to OC for a minute, but I don't even remember. It was just a blip or something, but no, I don't think a full-time cast member to full-time cast member.
Right. Yeah. Like Orange to Diamond.
I don't think so.
Like there's like visits, like there's like appearances, but never like a full swapperoni.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Let me know if I'm wrong.
All of this was bad for Heather because it was like, it's closer. It's like, okay, you're acknowledging that you're not an OC member even, and you want to be. And then also I just think that Gina and Emily, this gave them fodder for a year because they've always felt like they're beneath Heather, and she treats them all, kind of like shit. What's that called? Condescends to them or whatever, has her nose up to them. Superiority. And this confirmed it. So I don't think that this is going to be good for their relationship with Heather going forward. I felt like they got to a good place with Heather, and then she admitted this.
Yeah. I feel like Heather's been very like friend of vibes this season, like kind of just like an ancillary character. But yeah, so okay. She at least admitted it on this one, but then she denies Disneyland and fails that question, and she's pissed.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I already swore on my kids. I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah. So this was the biggest validation ever for me. I mean, I've been talking about paparazzi Disneyland gate for 3 years. It for sure is true. This happened. Heather got busted. Lie detector test. So far, every single lie detector reading has been 100% accurate. And I always believe this about Heather. So this is true. And Heather, when she says, I swore on my kids, that's the technicality. She didn't make the first-hand call, but she made Terry disguise his voice and call TMZ. Or she made some assistant disguise their voice and call TMZ. So she's trying to get off saying, I didn't specifically call, but she did.
Yeah.
Busted.
Do you think she called Terry freaking out on the drive home and was like, I fucking failed?
Yeah. She goes, nobody cares about Disneyland Gate except this turtle time. They're going to be.
She's like, delete the tapes.
Yeah, no, seriously. But I think that I just can confirm for myself this validated everything, all of my suspicions. It's very true that she called the paparazzi on her and Terry.
Yeah. Gretchen passed with flying colors across the board.
Yeah.
Like a little angel.
Yeah, who is it? Abraham Lincoln never told a lie, or George Washington?
Yeah, Honest Abe.
Oh. Honest Abe, and then I thought George Washington also said, I shall never tell a lie. They're both very honest, I guess.
Imagine having a president like that.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. I can't even. Yeah. You mean contrary to the. Oh, of course. Yeah. So, okay. Well, what were we talking about? Lies? Gretchen gets a full 100% pass. And they asked her the drugging, hospital question. Did you ever, I forget some of the other more salacious aspects, but they said this is 100% pure, perfect test that they've ever, basically that they've ever seen. Almost 100% honesty. And I thought that was great for Gretchen because I do think that Gretchen seems like a truthful person. Despite Tamra trying to poke a hole in that, Tamra was like, she's such a liar that she doesn't even know the lies she tells. I'm like, Tamra, oh my God, what are you talking about? Like, you are a liar.
I'm still just hung up on that backseat conversation in New Orleans where she like whispered and was like, I did go. And I'm like, what? I need someone to be like, what did you say? What did you mean?
Yeah, I do. I think that is the one piece of evidence that doesn't really gel with what I'm trying to get, what I'm trying to imagine.
Because she was acting like she thought that it wasn't on camera or something. Like the way that she like said it quietly, it felt like she was being sneaky.
Yeah, I don't know, but then I'm kind of like, I want to use the lie detector as evidence, and then you can tell me, oh my gosh, lie detectors are so shitty, but I just want to, this is the world I believe in. I think that Gretchen said something like, I was so sick that I should have gone to the hospital or whatever. But you're right. Why the hell did she say that in the bus? Okay, and then this is when lie detector person says, Katie. She goes, I don't even want to tell you how bad this shit looks with all of the big, huge curves and what, all that kind of stuff on it. It's like, this is one of the worst lie detector results I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, she goes, you did the worst of everybody. You failed very badly. She failed regarding talking to Kiki, failed regarding showing the recording to Alexis, and failed Gretchen telling her that she was drugged and went to the hospital. And Gretchen's like, you said yes to that? And she was like, yeah, because that happened and Jen was there, and she was like totally shocked, but it was like fail, fail, fail. Emily gets pissed because, she's like a lawyer. She's like, you lie, clearly you lie. And she gets all fired up. And she's like basically like leaving in a straitjacket, like, you said it at Maestro's, I'm not lying.
Yeah, it's true. She has to leave, and she's telling all the producers. And again, she says, this was told to me. But it's like, okay, quite possibly, or you misunderstood. She's trying to use the evidence that Matt also heard it and that Ryan heard it or whatever. But still, again, I'll just say, it does not change the fact of the crucial piece of this, which is that not everything that people relay to each other, they want it repeated to a journalist and hopefully spread around the world for future news. So I don't really know what benefit of the doubt you can give Katie. I mean, whether or not you believe she's telling the truth, is it good of her that she told Kiki this news, or we don't believe that either, even though it's been confirmed by Kiki and she failed the lie detector test and it seems like she lied?
She's like, I'm a patsy.
Totally. Oh my God. Who started screaming that? Lee Harvey Oswald?
Yeah.
I think he started screaming that, and then Jack Ruby said, shut up.
Killed him.
Killed him. If I remember correctly, killed him on the way to jail. Or anyway, well, yeah, this is a total Jack Ruby and Lee Harvey Oswald situation. So what's the I know I'm sure we try to be nuanced. Come on, that's turtle time way. I mean, so I'll give Katie benefit of the doubt on on hearing that at Maestro's, misunderstanding it, but you have to admit that there's been at least some inconsistencies in the overall stories. And do you really not believe Kiki, right, saying that? At Mozambique, a sacred place that Katie said, isn't it just more reasonable, or isn't it easier to imagine that Katie was just having a full free-for-all with bloggers during a 6-month period, loving life, spreading a bunch of shit, and then she realized that's not what we do on these shows? That to me is the
Right.
most likely explanation. And and their reaction was valid to that. They're like, you're lying your ass off, Katie.
Yeah, but she swears to God that she didn't tell. Jen and Gretchen are like, no, she said that she was so sick, she should have gone to the hospital. And Katie's like, this has to be wrong. I'll take it again.
Yeah, she goes, get me another one with different experts, and I'll take the same test, which that'd be interesting if she did it again. I don't know if she will.
Yeah, and then Gina, it is like a total pile-on. Like, Gina's like, and by the way, you tried to throw me under the bus saying that I was racist. And Katie's like, I think she says in her confessional, she's like, I don't think she understood that, like, what she said was offensive. And I'm like, Gina, like, don't even bring that up. I'm like, it's worse for you than for her. Like,
yeah.
like, I'd be like, I'm going to let that slide.
I think so too. Yeah, Gina was like, and another thing about that thing I said. It's like, oh, hey, Gina, no, I'd be starting on her way out.
It's like when Kristen brought up racism on season 1 of The Valley, and everyone's like, you want to go there, bitch? Like, you have something really easy I could bring up. It's not going to be good for you.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, so Katie then says, she goes, this might be my final time around this entire group of people. I mean, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think you'll commit to the rest of the season.
I know. I'm like, her and Tamara keep saying shit like that. And I'm like, well, we're going to see very quickly that that's not true. Yeah. But they break the fourth wall when she leaves because Emily's like, I really think you should go. Like, I'm pissed. Like, get out of here. Yeah. So she leaves and she's arguing or like pleading to the producer outside and is like, she's like, it's a lie. They were all there. Like, I don't understand. It's driving me crazy. So I'm like, it is wild that she's holding like so firm. Like, there's a version I think that she believes to be true. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that she heard it, but she's lying about the Kiki thing, and she's lied about a couple other things. I mean, there's a world where you could be convinced of anything, and also you can lie. So you can lie to the point where when you're busted like that, you just keep doubling down, and it gets worse and worse. Like it's, I mean. That's imaginable to me. I just think I just have to. Katie has to. I don't know if she wants this show so bad that she thinks she'll get fired if she admits to all this stuff, but I don't know. I think that Katie needs to take 2 days, 3 days, and just be like, here is the truth about everything. I was busted on 7 of these things. Here's the 3 things that I want to push back on a little bit, but like,
I do think there's something shady because Gretchen is like, no, Slade called Matt to be like, what is all of this that she's saying? And I'm like, why are there like phone calls with the husbands about information that was at dinner? Like, I think there's something weird still.
Okay. So well, this is like, we're dissecting a conspiracy or something, like
it is.
So I will admit what you already mentioned about Gretchen saying hospital. But then does that mean that the lie detector, are you a little more skeptical of lie detector results than possibly I am?
Well, they are inadmissible.
Really?
Yeah. They're like not accepted anymore.
Whoa.
In court.
Oh my God.
As evidence.
Oh, what the hell was going on with that documentary I was watching where the judge.
I think they were for like a long time and then they decided that they're not that valid.
But then why does it sync up almost 100% completely with everything I believe to be true?
You like.
I mean, it was like, this was like Riley's best case version of a lie detector test because everything I've ever felt and thought was validated by either as truth or lies. Okay, I believe that there is some missing element or pieces here that we still need before I'll declare this. But there's a couple things I need to just always stand firm on, and there's enough whispers to think that Katie has been untruthful about certain things in
Yeah.
this.
I mean, I totally think she is lying and has lied a million times, but I also am getting a little bit of a like takedown energy where they're like potentially Jen is like, I'll stand with you, Gretchen. Like, I need a powerful like friend,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of like, okay, now we're talking too long, but like takedown versus like plot. Like
Right.
what is the what takedown versus a dramatic storyline? Like this is something that
Like alliance.
yes, there's definitely alliances happening, but I'm also like, okay, we don't want takedowns. I hate the bullying. I hate it
Yeah.
when they try to ostracize a cast member. I hate that, especially if it's unjustified. But then there is sort of an element of this where it was like, this was just revealed in a lie detector environment where we agree 100% with the results and it lines up with everything that we were thinking. We're all pissed. Get out of the house. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure people will call Katie and be like, we took it too far. I'm sure there will be some backpedaling, but sometimes the takedown is just them all leaping on a moment where they're acting on the impulses that they have on a cast member that they just found out is pissing them off with all of these lies. So I understand exactly what you mean, but I think that they were just kind of following their hearts in the moment. And hopefully, though, it's not going to be like she's ostracized from the cast for the rest of the season.
Sure. Yeah. She just doesn't have a single ally now.
No, she blew it with Jen hard. Jen got to a point where she was like, I'm defending you a lot. And then at one point, Katie, during the lie detector aftermath, she was like, Jen? And Jen's like, I'm not listening. No. She's like, I didn't hear that at Maestros. Like,
keep walking.
So anyway, well, what's the future? What's the future? Katie's obviously not off this show, but we'll see. Next week they're going to have to reckon with what they did. And I'm interested to see how Katie is going to come back from this. Like, that'll be entertaining on its own. All right,
It'll be good. This is good reunion fodder, too.
Totally. All right,
because it's like nitty gritty. But yeah, Miami's hot.
Miami's hot, hot, hot.
Fire. Okay, so we start out with Uncivil in Seville. It picks up where we left off with like the dinner drama with Lisa needing the what's it called? The notary.
Affidavit. Yeah. Yes. Online.
Notary for the affidavit.
Yes.
They're talking about the Jody text. We get a lot of Jody texts Larsa, like a lot of people calling multiple texts like our cell style. And Lisa's like, all right, Larsa, sit down. I'll go deal with my shit in the other room. She ends up like FaceTiming a notary. I like didn't even know that was possible. Jody's helping her deal with that. Also, Gertie follows after her. And I have to say, there's something like that Gertie like always needs to like chill the fuck out when she tries to like take over a scenario, because she's not good at like de-escalating or making you feel like oriented. She actually makes me feel like very frazzled and like more confused.
No, I had the exact same thought. I mean, there's multiple scenes that like I it's unfortunate, but I really think it is due to Gertie like trying to have a place on this show, and it's coming out of a little bit of wanting to justify herself, feeling that it's quite possible that like her and Julia might not get their contracts renewed. Like there is a little bit of her like trying to make scenes, but or like insert herself in ways, but it happens so often. And you're right, it's usually not helpful. Like she starts to take command of the phone and starts talking to Jody, and she's like, Jody, this is what you need to do. Never text Larsa again. It's like, and they're always like, the scene is always moving away from what Gertie is trying to bring to it. It happens again too when Lisa unfollows Marcus. Like they're having this moment where they're clapping and she unfollows, and like Gertie was talking and she's basically like, you interrupted my scene. I was just having a conversation with Lisa. Like she starts to get pissed when the scenes she doesn't have full command of them. Right. And I do just think it is because she's trying to have moments as much as she possibly can throughout this entire time, and not really going with the flow for the most part.
But she did say part of what she was trying to evoke was that she normally manages weddings as a planner. And she said, she's like, I've been through way worse shit than this, including a groom saying no at the altar. And I was like, fuck, I was like, I want that. Like, that's actually like, there should be a party planning Bravo show.
Oh my God, totally.
Like, that would be good.
Oh, it'd be so good because there's so much like stuff that comes up at weddings. Like there's always at least one or two horrible things, or a drunken speech, or somebody falling in a pool, or a groom saying no. I didn't even think of this. I thought she meant someone saying like, no, these two should not be wed. But she's saying no.
The groom.
Do you take thee to be thy wife? No.
That's like insane.
Oh my God. What?
I always think about how I literally can't get over that Carrie ever forgave Big after just standing her up, and the fact that she blamed Miranda for telling him at their their wedding dinner, the rehearsal dinner the night before. Miranda goes, "You're crazy to get married," and Carrie's like, "How could you not tell me that? That's obviously what scared him." And I'm like, you think you can scare a 60-year-old man out of getting married by saying, "You're crazy to get married"? Like, come on.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's I always forget, but this is the start of the Sex and the City 1 movie, right?
Yeah. Which I just bought on DVD at Goodwill because I was like, I gotta have this.
Oh my God. Does it have commentary?
Ugh, I need to check. I hope so.
Oh my God. So yeah, you're right. It's almost unforgivable. And Gertie does say this thing too, that she goes, "You think this is bad? That was also bad."
Yeah, which I'm like, that used to be like her power. Like, you were like, oh, she's like in the Vogue, like best wedding planners of the year. Like, she used to have more like authority and like was more interesting. And now I feel like she's so like all over the place that it's like, what is going on?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing that's going on with Julia, which we've talked about. It's just like they've both been on the show for 5 years.
They're flailing. Julia's like, "Do you want me to kiss you? I'll kiss everyone at the table. That's fun, right?"
I mean, there has to be this tier of housewives that get worse as time goes on. I mean, just to be fully frank, I don't usually it's the other way around. They've warranted past the 3 seasons is really, we've talked about this, the demarcation point between when some people bite the dust and some people move forward. Usually around 4 and 5 is really when you're like, I'm integral to the cast. I might be the center mojito holder. There is something
if anything,
going on.
You get too big for your britches, and that's a different way to fail.
Totally.
Where you like no longer think the rules apply.
But this one, I'm like, I had only fond memories for Gertie's entire run. I think until probably like maybe halfway through last season, and now I'm just like, what is going on? It's again, to excuse it, there might be insecurity with this cast, given that she is not in a group chats with all of them. She wasn't talked to in the off season. There is this whole like, I might be on the chopping block for next season, and it's causing me to do these sort of desperate actions that are influencing it, because I've never seen someone my opinion of someone shift so much in this late of their sort of run. So I know, I fully agree with you. And then Julia, of course, the exact same comment towards her.
Yes. So Adriana's upset because she's like, Lisa's going through a lot. I can't. I feel everything she's going through. She's like crying, and Larsa's like, "Shut up, go sit somewhere else. I don't want to deal with this crap." And she's sick of Lisa being the star of the show. Lisa goes, "I'm all signed. Like, it's over. I'm coming back. Like, we're good." And they go through the Jody Larsa text, and it's frankly not that interesting. Like, at one point, Lisa reads the text, and they're not that juicy. Like, they're kind of just like arguing. Like, I don't think it's that like monumental.
This won't be a good take, but it's kind of low. The whole my boyfriend or my husband, it's kind of low hanging fruit. I think that they should just have a rule. It's like, we never talk or text husbands. Like, I don't know how you can enact that rule, but I mean, it doesn't seem that outlandish to me that Jody was texting Larsa, especially if they had their own relationship. But I also understand why Larsa wants to use this against Lisa and make it part of her case against her. But I'm just like, either don't,
There's
never
some, like,
do it.
The housewives have it's like the PK texts. It's like this very archaic thing where it's like, you're not allowed to text a man.
Yeah.
Or like a man is not allowed to text you. I'm like, they're like 50 years old.
Like, do we like
what the
this?
fuck do I care?
Do we like this world? Like, I text people, I text women in my life. I mean, not to blow my spot up, but it's like, well, I never would have this rule. And I would text my friend if they got in an argument with my wife and say,
Yeah.
hey, I'm sorry for what I said. Like, was this a rule that we all want to abide by? And if we
Yeah.
do, then let's all put a blanket rule. No husbands or boyfriends can ever text someone. I feel like it's gotten to the point where it's just a nice kernel of drama you can add to any fight. And
Sure.
Larsa used it.
Yeah. This leads to also, they find out that Lisa always takes notes like when they're fighting. And she's like, my lawyers have been telling me for years that I need to take note of everything because like everything that, oh my God, what is her husband's name? Ex-husband's name?
Oh my God.
Why
Oh
am I
God.
forgetting? Lenny.
Lenny Hochstein.
Oh my
Lenny
God, I
Hochstein.
haven't talked about Lenny in a minute. Like she needs to note like everything Lenny ever said because he would say one thing and do another, whatever. So she has taken that into Housewives, and they're all very alarmed by that. It's giving like the Britney recording or something. They're like, "Why are you?" And I'm like, "You're literally being recorded." So her taking like pencil scratch notes doesn't seem like that big of a deal. It's kind of weird, but they were acting like she was like a spy or something.
Yeah, it was overblown completely. I didn't like any talk of this. Marisol being like, I'm going to take your phone on the jet so you can't take notes. I could tell that Marisol was just loving making a big deal of this note-taking behavior. It's not a big deal at all. What's the note say? Larsa called me whore. Called me groupie. It's like, it's not a big deal at all. She just remembers this. She wants to remember the shit. But they talk about it for the rest of the 2 episodes, this note-taking habit.
Right. So the next big thing is that there's still, Stephanie really wants to make a meal of the jet and who gets to be on it and what the rules of engagement, or as she calls it, jetiquette is. Stephanie's like, I don't know, like after last night, like, do you think that Lisa would you be comfortable with Lisa being on the plane? And the whole point that they're going to Marbella is for Julia to ask this rich older gay couple if they'll be the godfathers for her sons, which I'm a little like, do you want your godfathers to be like older than you?
Yeah, it made me think about Godfathers and that whole concept, and I didn't even think of that. But because some of them want them to be like, this is who I will pass my children to in case we both blow up.
Yeah, like Martina's like not young.
Damn. I didn't even think of this, but you're right. What I mean, they're older than they're older than Julia, presumably as well. But I guess, maybe I would just probably, if I was Julia, I would do 10 or 15 years of them. And then if something unfortunate happens, say, can I have 2 new godparents? And then at least if nothing happens in the 15 years and just Julia and Martina unfortunately have some demise, they get that beautiful Marabella.
Yeah, they want the will. It's like, make a 90-year-old man the godfather.
Yeah, that is kind of a cool little godfather hack if you think about it.
Yeah.
Really old godfather. That's
you're like sliding in under the door. They're like, they're your godson. You have to leave him something.
Yeah. Oh my God. And wait till we get to that Marabella house.
Oh my God.
Was it called It's called Marabella, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Marbella.
Okay. Tile workshop / Alcazar Palace tours. They split up, right, and go on these 2 unique trips. We already talked about jetiquette, and then we one notable moment is that Kiki is saying, Lisa, I don't like this whole Jody texting thing. I think it's despicable and abhorrent that Jody would ever text Larsa. And then Lisa admits that she doesn't want to unfollow Marcus because she doesn't want anybody to like tell her what to do. But then she goes, Adriana, I ask for your advice in these situations because you're the voice of wisdom or voice of reason. And Adriana goes, even though you don't want to do something, she'll always hold this over your head. So I would, as your voice of reason, say that you should unfollow Marcus. And then they show that tap of the phone, and then they clap and they play beautiful classical triumphant music when she unfollows Marcus.
Yes. But yeah, Lisa doesn't know that at the other Tile event, they're plotting her demise and whether or not she should be allowed on the plane, which it seems like they're going to tell her that she cannot go.
Yeah, I'll say something about takedowns, as we were talking about earlier. I feel like Lisa is sort of being the recipient of a takedown for doing really nothing that is that shocking to me. Being late, which is a part of her character. You cannot change that. I mean, I would get pissed too, but like she's late. Okay. We
Yeah.
understand. I'm sure other people are late. But the note taking thing, you're obviously making a bigger deal about that. They're bringing the Marcus stuff again. It's like round 4
Yeah.
of that with her and Larsa. And then they're threatening to throw her off a plane or making her drive after she already had to take a train to get in there. Like, I kind of felt for Lisa. I love Lisa. She's my favorite cast member, so I always feel for her. But I was just like, enough.
Marisol was acting like she was going to get sued because of the notes she was taking, and like
Marisol.
they're like, she's ruining the environment, and I don't want to like for it to be ruined just because of what she's going through. And they were just being very dramatic. It was very like Mean Girl vibes. So then you think she's going to get uninvited, but then Julia sits her down and she's immediately like, she says she's going to ask for the godfathers. Lisa's like, I'll be on my best behavior, I swear, like, don't worry. And they're like, okay, but we're going to have everyone put their phones in a basket because you're always on your phone. And she's like, what the fuck? I can't be without my phone. Like, which I'm like, you could be without your phone.
Yeah.
Like on a 20-minute flight.
But I also thought...
But I get being like, that's annoying. But...
it's just like, it's like she's being treated by like a kid. It's like, I can have my phone. I want to take a bunch of selfies. Like, I would not, even I am not so attached to my phone, but I'd be pissed off if someone said, I'm putting your phone in a basket because you take notes on me. Marisol was accusing Stephanie of having a Mussolini moment later in this episode. I'm like, you're being a little mini Mussolini by trying to demand phones from everyone so that Lisa can't communicate with her husband while divorce proceedings, or sorry, talk about her divorce proceedings and get in touch with her kids on her trip.
Right. Yeah. So Lisa gets pissed. She's like, fuck it. I won't come. I feel unwanted. This is too much. Like, never mind. And like kind of storms off. And so you're like, is she going to go? So then they all go to dinner. Earlier at the tile workshop, Alexia made a special tile for her and Todd that had tortugas on it. And Stephanie's like, well, you probably love turtles because your divorce is moving as slow as a turtle.
Oh my God. Alexia is going to be so pissed when she hears that turtle commentary on about that tile. It is so funny that Alexia made a tile for Todd. It's like,
I know,
that
it's
is
ridiculous.
That is kind of like the perfect stuff that Alexia does. Like, I'll take that all day, making a beautiful tile that says I heart tea on it when you're on a trip that's supposed to be about you getting away from Todd and leaving him or whatever. This dinner, Lisa was uninvited or felt uninvited, but then she decides to go because she says, I'm hungry, but then she ends up being 2 hours late. So it's kind of, in every way, the worst thing for everyone because Larsa keeps getting pissed.
Larsa says 2 hours late, and then it corrects to 1 hour, but that's still very late.
Yeah, but Larsa's just like, what's going on with these dinners? Because Larsa hates Lisa right now, and she hates that every meal has some element of Lisa, and so I kind of, I understand. If you're mad at someone, you're like, oh God, now we have to think about your entrance, and now we have to think about whatever's going on with your affidavit. Like, Larsa gets really pissed, pretty the entire time. I mean, Larsa and Lisa are not good this entire trip.
Over it.
Yeah.
Also, Marisol is like telling the group about the Lisa no phone rule, and they all go like, oh, like that's dirty. Like, they're all like, that's a little much. And Adriana reveals, she's like, she unfollowed Marcus. And Gertie's like, we swore we wouldn't tell, which I'm like, why wouldn't you tell? Like, what's the point of doing it if you're not going to tell?
That's the exact same thing I thought. It's like, who said you're not going to tell? We tell everything, and it's good to tell. And this is now the entire group learning it. It's like, this is, and I was like that. And Adriana was like, I don't really know what you're talking about, Gertie. Did we really make a pinky promise? And you watch the scene over again, and like, Adriana's just like not listening to Gertie. Like, she's like, I'm not participating.
Because again, Gertie is like, you're like, what are you ever saying?
Yeah, it's like, I'm not participating in the same scene. And I'm just going to be honest because we're talking about it. Like, that scene where Lisa unfollows Marcus, Adriana and Kiki clap, and they make it a really funny, fun moment. But then Gertie was upset with them that they were derailing whatever type of conversation we had. And it was almost like the editors would have wanted to like bump down her mic so that she didn't distract from the classical, beautiful music scene that they wanted. And that's also what this rule felt like. It's like, Gertie, I'm sorry, I didn't agree to that. I know how these franchises work, and I tell big secrets at tables all the time.
Yeah. So then Kiki is like, when Lisa comes, she goes, Adriana ran her mouth about the Marcus thing. And Adriana says, I screamed. I was like, girl, she's like, Kiki, stop being rat shit. And everyone screams. in the next episode, it took her a full episode, like a full 24 hours to realize that she claims that she was calling her wretched, like with a W.
Yep.
Which I will never know the truth.
I know the truth.
That she's lying.
We got the truth.
I love to be like, I said wretched.
She is so lucky that wretched even came close to ratchet. No, here's
she's
what
like
happened.
Rhymes with ratchet. She's on like thesaurus.com /rhyme.
This is something that could befall anyone. I mean, it's horrible. No, seriously, it's horrible. But like this is why I will never use any words that I am not 100% comfortable with, because I swear there was 5 years ago, anyone in the world said that word and we were saying it and we were talking about it. And then now it sounds so odd. And like, it sounded to me like Adriana used a word from a thesaurus that she was trying to bring back from a long time ago, which did seem lame.
Slang.
Yeah, that did seem really lame of her. Like, I would have never, ever said that word. And I understand Kiki's reaction, but also it was laughable to me that Adriana tried to pretend like she was saying wretched. No, you were just using a potentially offensive word from the past, and you brought that up to Kiki,
right.
At the table.
I meant Urban Dictionary. Remember that website?
Of course, yeah. I was looking up words all the time, being like, what does that mean? What does that mean?
What's a sloppy Joe in his pie hole? Like, you would always look up like a dirty Shirley.
Yeah, I was looking up words like that all the time. That's why I've told you before, I think I've said this, like, I don't take on any new words anymore. I'm done.
Like, closed.
Could you imagine if I was like, I think like, I don't even want to say this word, but like, remember when people were that other word for basic and the people were like, this is, I don't even want to say it because now I'm like, what if that's offensive? But I just I never want to partake in modern.
What about unk?
Yeah,
You're unk.
No,
you don't say new words.
I don't even want to say. I don't even want to say spill tea. I just I'm not. It's like everything like this is going to sound really lame at a certain point, and because when it is not adopted anymore by anyone else, and I felt like Adriana reached into the past a little bit and brought a word that that curdled our blood.
There is a little bit of a language barrier as well. I'll give her that, but yeah, she a full calendar day later claims she was saying wretched, which I thought was very funny. And then Kiki retaliates by saying, "You're too old to be talking like that." And Adriana goes, "Ageism." She gets so pissed. And then they roll the clip from 2 weeks ago where she's calling Marisol an old whore, that she has wrinkled knees. But she never comes back from being called old. She completely loses her mind. She's like, she keeps yelling about respect. I don't even know what she's talking about. She goes, "I gotta go back to Miami to babysit Kiki's kids because that's what grandmothers do." And I was I'm like, don't mention the kids.
Oh, totally. Yeah, just in case. Yeah. And and they are yelling, and there's people in Spain that are looking around, and Alexia, I think at one point says, "People in Spain don't do this. We don't fight like this." And then Stephanie is at her wit's end. I mean, you got to say this. She gets up and starts screaming, and she goes, "You've ruined now 3 dinners. Can't we just have one that is good?" And it's kind of funny because she gets up at the same time as Adriana, and Stephanie's like, "I'm not leaving with you. I don't want to be associated with you. You are who kind of ruined dinner," but they have to walk out at the same time. And this is
Adriana basically goes "Yeah, let's go," and she's like, "No, I'm not partnered with you."
She's like, "I'm mad at you too." And then Stephanie is kind of very upset. She cries. She's like, I think her nerves are frazzled, and I could do that all day. I would be having the time of my life, just getting into horrible fights all day at every dinner. But for some people, especially Stephanie, who's a great first-time cast member, she's great. But she's tired. They've been traveling and they've been fighting nonstop for 3 days on an international trip. I completely understood why she was like, I've hit my limit.
Cries in the next one. But they do. Larsa, Alexia, Marisol, and Stephanie get drinks at the Radisson after, and they're sort of laughing and talking about who's going to be on the jet and who will sit where, and she's saying that there will be walls that she can put up to make different sections, and that Adriana can sit by herself with in a section that just has one chair. And Marisol is like, I'm actually not into
Yeah.
this. Like, this is
Yeah.
like fucked up and weird.
Yes. Yeah, it was like she was like Adriana is a criminal, so we'll put her in this seat that has an ejector button on it, and also I'm going to put a curtain around her. And then I think that Marisol doesn't like the delight that Stephanie is taking and
Yeah.
having this power over it. So I think it's a combination of thinking that she's like a fascist or whatever, or and also making her jet too much a part of the plot to like sort
Yeah.
of have power over all of them. And so that's when Marisol says, I'm not liking this at all. And then that brings us to the next episode where Marisol decides with Alexia that they don't want to take part in anything that Stephanie is doing with that jet, because Stephanie does say at one point, I'll kick you out of the jet and someone will have to drive. And they're like, they don't want Stephanie to have power over them. And that is such a classic 2OG sentiment,
Yeah.
2 mojito holder thing. They're like, wait, they're like, this first time cast member is now talking about ejecting
Yeah.
us. No way. We are not participating in any type of trip like that. And they try to sort of bring the power back to them for this
Yeah.
entire Julia trip
Yeah.
to
It's a
Marabella.
total coup.
Yeah.
Because Stephanie, as of the drinks the night before, thinks they're all laughing and kikiing and in agreement. And then as of the morning, they wake up and find that they're not going at all. Lisa is like one of the first ones down because she's like, I'm on my best behavior. I'm not going to be late. So she's like there with bells on. This is where Marisol says Stephanie was having a mini Mussolini moment. And Julia's like, I don't hold it against them. Like, I'm not even I'm just moving on. Like, they're not coming. Who cares? Which I didn't realize that it was a day trip. Like, they're not even staying over there. They're flying for 22 minutes on the PJ, spending the day, and then coming back. So I was like, oh, it's not that big of a deal to not go because they're all coming back anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. And Julia doesn't care. She's fine with it. But Stephanie is really aggrieved. Stephanie knows what they're doing. She goes, they're trying to take my beautiful jet power away from me. And they're doing making a stand against me. So she's riled up. And she wants Julia to be mad too, because she's like, this Godfather shit.
Yeah.
Your two best friends aren't even doing it. And Julia's like, I forgive them. I
Yeah.
love them. I love Alexia and Marisol. I don't give a shit that they're not going to Godfather Day.
Yeah. And Larsa is on Stephanie's side. She's like, you guys need to be appreciative. She's spending $40,000 to fly us 22 minutes. And I'm like, well, that's just stupid.
Yeah, I say that's stupid. And also, that's your decision. And you're doing it a lot. And you're really talking about your jet.
Never ending talking about it.
That's hers. That's just hers, right? That, like,
I guess.
I'm always so skeptical. I'm always like, when Randall had a private jet, I was like,
Right.
yeah, but you shared it with Martin Scorsese and
yeah, it's very rare to own a jet. Like, you have to be like mega wealthy.
So
she might, but
oh yeah, I'm just thinking. I read a book where it's like CAA. I read the Michael Ovitz book, and he bought a jet for CAA for all of them to use, and so it was like a company jet to make them look good, but like, you know, he would offer it to everyone, to friends and everything. So it's like more like you get a lot more out of it.
Yeah, I think you like rent it out, like people, whatever. But yeah, Kim Kardashian, I think Kim and Kylie have one each.
Oh my God. Drake has one, but I don't know what it's called. Air Drake.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's private jet. It's private jet talk. We don't have to talk about that anymore. Okay. They go then. Okay. They're dancing on the plane. They try to have fun. They land down, and everyone is comparing stuff to White Lotus now.
I know.
It happens in Potomac. Everything is White Lotus. They go, this is White Lotus.
It really, yeah. Lisa apparently is a big fan. She did a full quote. She goes, they get to the mansion, and Julia's friend is like a wealthy older white man. And she goes, it's giving the gay guy from White Lotus. And then she goes, I don't want to get taken out like Jennifer Coolidge. And she does a full impression. The gays are trying to kill me. And I was like, imagine Lisa just Sunday night popping on HBO.
I love it. I wonder if she liked season 3.
Sounds like she did. Oh, wait,
yeah. Well, that was season 2, but I'm sure. I'm sure she was loving it. I mean, we all had kind of White Lotus fever. I'll admit to it.
But yeah, it's this palatial Spanish place that's like cool. It's huge. No expense spared. They have like a lobster meal. There's like champagne around every corner.
I liked this guy. Did you?
I mean, I'm sure there's something like weird going on. I like never trust these like mega wealthy people. I'm like, what'd you do?
What was his name again?
Derek.
I definitely get why you want him to be a godfather.
Totally. Yeah, she said that they've been coming there basically every summer. So like her daughters know him very well, and like they would always vacation there. And while they're hanging out, Lisa announces her divorce. It's official, which is a big deal. Like, it's been going on forever.
Yeah,
And Larsa's like, who cares?
yeah, she doesn't give her one little crumb towards that. She goes, we're making a big deal over signing papers. It's like she got divorced officially, a years-long divorce. And they show the flashback, and that affidavit that was being signed was like one of the last pieces of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was great. And then Lisa's in kind of a silly, fun mood the rest of this trip. She's being the Lisa that I love. She's going, what was the kind of stuff she was doing? She's like, I like.
Do you have pass the Grey Poupon?
Yeah, she was like, I have Grey Poupon. She goes, pass me the gravy, darling. She goes, when I'm in this sort of environment, I just want to be on my best behavior. And then she's
like, it's giving rich. I love doing rich stuff. This is so rich and fancy.
She keeps nudging whoever next to her, and she's like, this is just so much fun. Can you even believe this? And Larsa's going, Lisa sucks so bad. She's like, Lisa is like at the Oscars when they need to play you off with music, because she does a big, long-winded, I guess, toast to her, divorce. But I loved it. She's drunk and having fun in Marabella at this beautiful mansion, and she wants to celebrate
herself. She has no chill when she's in like elite environments. Like when she met Stephanie the first time, she's like, I want to be friends with someone with a jet. I would love to be on a jet. I love a jet.
Yes, totally. And then speaking of huge, rich people, Marisol is over in her town, Seville, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just got one of those those scary texts, and it says, "You still breathing, my old friend?"
It said that?
I swear. One of those scary texts that we were just talking about that come out of nowhere. I got one yesterday that said, would you still consider me one of your oldest friends? And then this one, I'm getting
They're
more
trying
now.
to make you feel bad.
YouTube, don't look at any of my numbers and stuff, but it says, you still breathing, my old friend. Like, that is one of the scariest ways to start a conversation I've ever heard in my life.
That's like a full Ripley.
Totally. Oh my God. Anyway, all right. I'm sorry to bother us with that. But Marisol gets a phone. I go, holy shit. Lisa Vanderpump just fucking screamed into the universe, pissed as hell, because Marisol, I don't think this was just a recorded video that Marisol popped up and pretended was a FaceTime and did elaborate pauses to make it seem like it was a conversation. I think this was an actual FaceTime with Richard Branson.
Huge.
What is he? Virgin?
Mm-hmm.
The Virgin, CEO or former, all that stuff.
But so, okay, I love this. I was like, that's huge. Like, that actually is baller.
Yes.
And she goes, when you fly with Richard, or like when you do whatever, like you can sit wherever you want. You can drink, you can smoke, you can shit.
Yeah, she does say shit.
And I was like, wow, that's baller. And she keeps alluding that, because he goes, how's your marriage going? Like, she's alluding that he's going to give her some amazing experience for a wedding gift that she's going to include the women on. And I was like, are they going to go to the fucking island? Like the Richard Branson island, and like fly out on like his jet that she just alluded to that you could do anything you want on. And in the preview, it looks like they go on a Virgin cruise.
Yeah.
I was like, anyone could do that.
I know. I really did think that, there was going to be more of a Richard Branson's like fingerprints on it. But I think it was just a huge, she was trying to sell that she has this friendship, and he maybe got them all free tickets or something. But a little deflating.
Which is like an ad for him, because he's like, did you know there's Virgin Cruises?
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think Lisa was definitely probably being honest when she had to fly on that Virgin flight, and she went up to that flight, the person at the flight attendant said, I know Richard Branson, just so you know. She probably did at that point, right?
Richard's a friend of mine. Yeah. I say it every time we talk about it. I miss Virgin America. Used to love it.
Did Alaska bought it?
Good question.
Okay. All right.
I know it doesn't exist anymore.
I forget too. Okay, and then now Julia gives a toast after Lisa kind of says her stuff. Julia gives a toast. She goes, I want my boys to be godfathered by you, Derek. Will you please say yes? And he goes, absolutely. And we didn't mention this, but the other godfather is gone. So kind of sad, because it's like, that's a huge moment, and that potential godfather didn't get to be here. But Derek kind of speaks for the other person and says, yes, we'll both be the godparents.
And Adriana says that she wishes that she was asked to be godmother, but as we know, they're not as close anymore. Yes. And Julia, they go aside and call Martina and the boys, and Julia is crying about her daughters, because they literally haven't met her sons, which is insane. And I'm like, there has to be more to the story here.
Oh, I know. Well, we're missing a huge thing. And Julia is crying, saying, I want this to get better. And then there is that lighthearted moment where Adriana says, "This is the word I meant. Will you say it?" To Lisa. How would you say that word? Wretched. And then there's a British butler running around, and
Oh
they go,
yeah,
British. They go, British butler, will you say this word? And he goes, wretched. And they go, oh my God, that sounds exactly like Ratched. They're trying to get out from under it. And then at some point, also on this trip, or on this little section of their trip, Kiki does forgive Adriana. This does not
yeah,
last past this trip or anything. Adriana says, I never should have said that word. And Kiki says, I understand, completely. I forgive you. So it's it
yeah.
only lasts for an episode,
Totally.
this feud.
Yeah, and apologizes for calling her old. She's like, I think you're one of the most beautiful women. Like,
Yeah.
you should embrace your age.
Yeah.
Okay, so they go back to Seville. They have this whole thing that Julia and Marisol planned for Stephanie's birthday, where they get their dresses that they ordered. So they're all dressed up. They ride in a horse carriage. They go to that, what was it called? Like the center of town, like a plaza.
Plaza de
And
España, I think.
okay. And then there's flamenco dancers. They sing happy birthday. Stephanie's actually moved. She cries again.
Yeah, it was kind of funny that this was all Marisol's plan for
Yeah.
Stephanie when she just had this, they have this feud right now about
Yeah.
the jet stuff. But Stephanie doesn't let that bother her. She loves this beautiful music and being in this plaza wearing those dresses.
Yeah. So they have a nice moment, which is quickly thwarted by Stephanie pulls Alexia to the side. She's like, what happened yesterday? And she's like, I think Marisol should be here because it was both of us. And she's like, no, just you.
I liked this. I really like Stephanie. I mean, say what you will, but she's kind of killing it
She's
in terms
smart.
of it's like, Alexia, why can't you just talk on your own? And they
She was panicked. She was like, get her over here.
They also this is why this alliance is not good. I've said it. This is it. This is the epitome of why Alexia cannot even speak without Marisol being there in a scene next to her, because Marisol, she knows, will do better at fighting Stephanie in this moment. So it was great for Stephanie to separate them for a second. They also gave two different excuses. It's so funny. Marisol goes, oh yeah, I wanted a special day with my friend. Alexia's been suffering through Todd, so I wanted her to have a Seville day. And then Alexia says Marisol really didn't like the jet shit that Stephanie was trying to pull, and then Stephanie knows. She hears the contradiction of these two alternate theories for why they didn't do it, and just decides to bust them on it.
Totally. Yeah, she's like, you're not twins. I can talk to you alone. Stephanie, they just are getting pissed at each other. They don't like the way that they're talking to each other. Stephanie's like, you backstabbed me. They're talking about the seating chart. They're saying, actually, like, Lisa, you didn't even want her to go at all. So then Lisa finds out about that. Then Marisol and Alexia are like, we don't answer to you, Stephanie. We don't want you dangling the private jet over our heads. Like, they're saying, like, you're wielding your power over us with the jet. We don't subscribe to that. And then Stephanie is like, I'm triggered by this because it's like 2 against 1, like my sisters who I don't talk to anymore, which I also need more information on. So it just does not go well. And Marisol by the end is crying. She's overwhelmed and upset. So it's like the birthday thing was nice for 5 minutes, but then it went in total chaos. Everyone was screaming and everyone else was like, what the hell?
Yeah, one could argue that there was maybe too much fighting, on this trip overall for a lot of stuff that really didn't matter. And I think that they didn't. Andy says he loves conflict and then resolution, or cycles of that, and we didn't really get any resolution here. It was a lot of grudges and grievances popping up over and over again, and nothing really was resolved towards the end of it. That they kind of almost have to edit in a moment of resolution where they see a funeral or some sort of religious procession outside, and they go, now this is beautiful. This is what we should be looking at. This represents all of us needing healing and to move forward. And it's like, well, no, I mean, it ended very badly. And now you are going to go home and you're going to still be reeling from all of these fights and grudges that you all have.
Some of them presumably are still going on the jet back.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, so they have this, they're just looking out and some of them hug, but there's clear divides within this group, this Miami group.
All right, we did it. There was a lot in there, but I thought it was a lot of fun. So a good Bravo week, actually.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was so. Yeah, it was very good. I loved this OC. This OC episode was everything I love about OC that we talked about, and then these were two very fun Miami episodes. And it was beautiful just to see Spain, and all that the
Yeah.
cultural stuff that they were going through. So yeah, that was great. And then we got McBee Dynasty season finale next week. So don't turn your dial. Turtle Time is still rocking and rolling. I think forever.
Yes. Join us then. If you can't wait, we will have a Patreon on Monday where we're talking about season 7 of Vanderpump Rules. Join us there. It's good stuff. Rate and review, as always, where we love watching those trickle in.
Oh my God, it is so fun. I think we got 2 or 3 little reviews come in since we even last spoke. I love it so much. It is so sweet. I mean, obviously, of course, if they're 4 or 5 stars. I mean, I don't love 3 or 2 or 1, but just reviews help us so much. And every YouTube comment, we love it. We were doing a lot of hand signals on YouTube, so go check those out, maybe on YouTube.
Yeah.
But just anything you can do to sort of buoy the Turtle Time enterprise really helps us, and it gives Amy and I a thrill because it's like, wow, we're not speaking into a void. We're actually talking about stuff, and people, are listening.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything else? Oh yeah, Etsy, of course. If you want to just give
Yeah.
us money for merch.
Yeah, please.
All right, please. All right, we'll see you back. I mean, this is the last Turtle Time for this week. We'll be back for our Villa Rosa VIPs on Monday, and then we'll have an episode Wednesday and Friday next week. So we'll see you soon.
Adios.
Bye.